Mr. Speaker, I think there's also one similarity. We all have haircuts. Mr. Chairman, can you repeat your question so I can?
I want to know what you can do differently to assist the government to stabilize the Ghanaian currency as a minister, as a deputy minister responsible for trade and industry.
Mr. Chairman, as a deputy minister, I'll work with my minister. If anything of what my respectable Dr. Amoah Clâshes is saying comes on board and my minister assigns me to, I'll do my best to contribute to that effect. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have any ideas that you can suggest to your minister, if called upon?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Can you tell us the ideas you have you can bring on board?
Mr. Chairman, if I'm giving the approval, I will definitely do that if I have.
As a nominee, can you convince me with those arrangements that or ideas you have so that that can encourage me to support you or not to support you?
Mr. Speaker, Dr. Clâshes is like a brother from different parents. The only difference between us is that he is tall, I'm short. I'll see him in chambers and probably ask more from him, and I'll submit to my minister, who I know operates open culture system, and if it will be good for the country, my minister will do that. Thank you, Mr.
What about similarities between you and him?
Mr. Speaker, I think there's also one similarity. We all have haircuts.
Mr. Chairman, talking about haircut, are you aware that our government has started giving ordinary pensioners haircut?
Mr. Chairman, I really don't know what my honorable member is talking about. What I know is that there is a voluntary rollout of a new policy to replace bonds with high cost with the low ones and also extend the maturity date, which, Mr. Speaker, occurred in Uruguay, Jamaica, Greece, UK. Whenever there is holdout all over the world, that is the inevitable policy, not forcing them on bondholders. That is all that I know. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Stephen Amoah, can you explain to this committee what the government is seeking to do to reduce our debt to GDP from the 103% to 55%, since you contributed to the topic on the floor of Parliament last week?
Mr. Speaker, I know that one of such policies is what Doctor just mentioned, trying to reduce our interest payment by extending maturities of our bonds and also replacing them with new ones. Secondly, the government is cutting down greatly the in our budget we have statutory and discretionary. The discretionary items, cost items of our budget, cutting emoluments by 30%, reducing fuel by 50%, government not actually initiating non-critical projects in our country. So you realize that the government of the day is doing everything possible within its capability to consolidate our fiscal space by cutting down costs. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are you aware that this morning, Fitch had to downgrade Ghana from RRD to restrictive default because Ghana government failed to pay debt that they have contracted, interest amounting to $46 million. Are you aware of that?
Chairman, I'm not aware, sorry.
Thank you very much. I am letting you be aware that government of Ghana has officially defaulted in the payment of external debt.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Honorable, for letting me know.
I can send it to you now. Check. If you unilaterally, without the consent of...
Don't respond to him.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Stephen Amoah.
Yes, Doctor.
If your country defaults in the payment of servicing debt, it shows your country is bankrupt or insolvent. And when the country is in that position, what do you think can the country do immediately to deal with that situation? Immediately to deal with that situation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think talking about Ghana being insolvent, that I don't know. What I know is that our interest payment has gone up. And here I've explained that between 2012 and 2016, it started going up. That is the time we started experiencing that. And then it started reducing up to 2018. Then it started going up again 2019. So you are right. But the most critical factor here is our debt to GDP, which has gone up greatly. If we can recollect, even the developed economies, their debt to GDPs are moving beyond 100. Talk of UK, US, and co. So this is a global issue. But what you need to do as a government is to harmonize the fiscal space variables or parameters. And one of them is to cut down cost, expenditure. One of them is to increase domestic revenue generation, to make sure that you rather consolidate the space by not attracting more debt. That's all that I can say. And I think this government is perfectly doing what I'm talking about. And it's a process and we'll get there. Thank you, Mr.
So
Chairman.
you mentioned that one of the things you do is to raise revenue. This budget introduced, the last budget introduced 24 different tax handles or fiscal measures. At the same time, expenditure is going up by 82 billion Ghana cedis. Can you agree with me that the government, even though they are increasing taxes or increasing revenue through the introduction of taxes, needs to cut down on expenditure, since expenditure has gone up by 82 billion Ghana cedis?
I agree with you, sir. Chairman, thank you.
So will you sacrifice your salary to reduce that expenditure, if I'm asked upon?
Chairman, I think I said something here. My knowledgeable Dr. Atoforsen and I, the only difference is the height. So the way we are brothers, if he sees me on the corridor and he says, "Our brother, let's cut," and he cut his, I'll cut mine.
Can you consider rejecting or refusing the appointment of the president as a contribution to Ghana's current problem?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not a lawyer, but I know that Article 78 mandates the president with approval of the parliament to do as such. I don't think if I'm asked to serve this country, I'll deny the good people of Inshiayeso and this country by doing that. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, since the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance is just about to enter, I will hold on to my questions, and when he comes, I'll be able to answer those questions. So I'll leave you there. I'll get those questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Make sure you subscribe to Salute Ghana channel and then hit the notification bell.